Om Shanti. Today, while reading the Murli, I was just thinking that Baba in the Murli says that your destination is to be totally soul conscious, yes, totally bodiless. And you see that I was thinking about this whole journey from body consciousness to soul consciousness. So, when we come to Baba, so we think that I'm looking for peace, looking for happiness, looking for power. Yes, so that's how we come to Baba. And in the world, everybody is looking for peace, love, happiness, power, bliss. And we come to Baba like that. And then we understand that Baba says that when you realize who Baba is, so first thing is understanding Baba. So Baba doesn't even have a body, he's just a point of light. And then he's full of, he's the ocean of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. So, can you picture Baba? So, do you understand that a bodiless soul, a point of light, and the ocean of peace, love, purity, what is he like? Can you picture Baba? How many of you can picture Baba? In Baba's description, we say, Roop mein bindu, guno mein sindhu. So, it has to first enter our buddhi that there is an entity who is a point in his form, looks like a point, and who is the ocean of purity, peace, love, happiness. Yes? Just like you cannot see the ultraviolet or infrared rays, but you can, yes, they do something to you. Or so Baba says, you understand that a place near me is filled with peace, love, purity, happiness. And once you understand that and that enters your buddhi, so the buddhi is able to create an image and an experience of what Baba is like. So first thing we have to understand is understand Baba. Because you see that when we are body conscious, understanding and experiencing ourselves as a soul is a little difficult. But when you understanding Baba is easy. So, Baba is a point and he is the ocean of virtues and powers. And then when you understand who Baba is, what Baba is like, you also understand that I am his child, so I'm just like him. I'm also sitting here like a point, and just like a diamond sparkles, so I'm also sparkling with peace, love, purity, joy, knowledge. So that's my light. And once you stabilize yourself in the realization of who you are, so you get the knowledge of who you are, and then when you sit in the consciousness of who you are, then this brings you to a shift where you are no longer looking for peace, happiness, love. It's a thought away. It's just, when once you go from outside to inside, you're just there. You don't have to look for these virtues through physical means. Yes. That's how it goes. And then all our, the idea of life shifts, because life was all about experiencing peace, love, joy, and power through the body. So the body was always the prime source of what the soul needs. So we looked at the body as a very important organ, because we thought that the soul depends on the body for its fulfillment. Yes, so the body and the physical world, which consists of things and resources and relationships, we thought that all of that is going to give me my oxygen. So the oxygen of the soul is knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power. And we thought that the body gives us all of that. So I, the soul, am dependent on the body. So if the body is not there, the physical world is not there, then I, the soul, can't thrive or survive, because I'm sourcing everything I need from the body and the physical world. Is it clear? So we were moving with this idea. And this state is called body consciousness, because you think that the body is primary to your existence. So the state of the soul depends on the state of the body and the physical world. And this is a very deep programming that we are moving with. That's why there is so much fear about losing anything or anyone in the physical world, because that's a source of my inner state. So how I feel, whether I feel happy or sorrowful, or my peace quotient is high or low, or whether I feel powerful or powerless, it all depends on physical factors in body consciousness, because the body is the source of the nutrition of the soul. That's how you live life. And that's why body consciousness makes you think that lust is very important, because the soul will get pleasure through the body. And if lust is not there, then how will the soul experience pleasure? Or if there is no greed, then less money. So then how will you experience power or a sense of achievement if there is less money? So you are afraid to have less money, and then you go into money consciousness. More money means more happiness. So all of this is body consciousness. And then Baba says that, Baba today says very beautifully 2 lines. I want to read that to you. Baba says, for birth after birth, you have been interacting on the basis of your bodies. Now you know that souls are imperishable and bodies function on the basis of this. So this is the shift. Now let's understand this. So for birth after birth, we have thought that the body is the basis of the state of happiness or peace or fulfillment of the soul. And that's why there is, and when we say body, it's not just body, it's the whole physical world. So matter, things, accomplishments, achievements, post positions, relationships. So we thought that the soul is getting its oxygen and whatever it requires through the body. And that's why the physical world matters so much, and we are so attached to the physical world. Yes, you are attached because you think that you, the soul, is empty without the physical world. The physical world is supplying you with the oxygen of the soul. And then Baba comes and Baba gives us the knowledge that I am the Supreme Soul, I am God, and I am a point of light. And in that point of light form, I am the ocean of everything. I am the ocean of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power, and you are just like me. So you are a point and you are just like me. You are peaceful, loveful, knowledgeful, pure, powerful in yourself. You are like the diamond who doesn't need the cover to justify its value. You are the diamond. And then this is knowledge at first, but to come to that consciousness requires a lot of practice. It's because we have given away our power. So when you give up something, reclaiming it is very difficult. You give up your property. So there is this one brother who told me that I gave my property to my brother and I cannot take it back from him. There is so much of dispute, and he keeps yelling at the brother, it's my property, but he says, you gave it to me, now it's mine. So reclaiming what was yours is very difficult. And he tells me, Didi, that's mine. So I said, that is not yours, that was yours. Now you take it back from him, it is going to require a lot of effort. So when you have given away your power, whether it's physical or spiritual, it's very difficult to get it back. So we gave our power to the physical world. And now it requires quite a lot of effort to reclaim it. So we have to practice a lot of soul consciousness and then remembrance of Baba and then remembrance of myself as a child of Baba and stabilizing myself in my original qualities. So creating a thought and then ruminating on that thought, on that truth that I'm a peaceful soul until it becomes an experience. So you see that you have to do this practice. And then Baba is giving us not just this one direction, but we also know that the karma we do through the body affects the soul. So the karma, if my karma is based on vices, then I cannot get rid of dependency on the physical world. So I have to do pure karma. So my karma has to be free of attachment, lust, greed. And then I have to do my karma with Baba. So whenever I'm operating in the world also, I have to do karma on Srimat. And that's how I will slowly move towards soul consciousness. Now, there is one thing which requires a lot of attention here, and that one thing is that once I've figured out that peace, love, joy is my nature and that I'm not seeking it from the world, then what is my purpose of life? That's very important, because now you still have to live in the world, but why? Why don't we just go and live in the jungle then? So when the soul is capable of feeling peaceful and loveful and happy by itself, then why not live in the jungle? So Baba says that you have a lakshya, you have a goal, you have an aim here. And what is that aim? You have 63 births of karmic accounts, which you have to allow to come to you, and you have to settle it through yoga power. And then Baba says, now you were using the body until now to seek spiritual solace, but now the soul has to use the body to create heaven. Yes, create punya karma and create heaven. So now also the body has a use, the relationships have a use. So Baba says, it's not like now I don't need happiness and peace from the body, so the body is redundant. No, I have to use the body to create karma, which creates heaven. So one is you have to stay until the old karmic settlements finish, and then also for the establishment of the new world order, you have to use the body and your relationships and whatever you have. So now you have a destination and you have to work towards it. And Baba says, whatever you have, now it's not for creating spiritual satisfaction, because that is already there. But once you're happy and peaceful, you have to understand that there are karmic settlements which you have to finish. And then there is this creating of good karma, punya karma through the body, which is done through seva. And you cannot do seva in a jungle. So you have to live in the society, live with the family and serve those around you. And you have to shift the world order from vicious to virtuous. You have to shift the world order from vicious to virtuous. And this is a very important thing. And today in the Murli, Baba talks about, when you kind of propose that in the family we stay as husband and wife, and then we embrace purity, then what happens is there is a lot of resistance. And Baba says there is also resistance to the extent that people end up beating their spouses. So, in earlier times, there was a lot of violence also, because if the wife wanted to stay pure, then she could get beaten up, or she could get, so they could tie her, or they could just strand her in a room and tie her to the bed and just keep her that way. So all these things used to happen. Now Baba says, shifting a vicious relationship to a virtuous relationship is not easy. Yes, leaving somebody is very easy. Yes, but Baba says you have to stay where you are and change the relationship from vicious to virtuous. And how do you do that? Baba says you have to have a lot of yoga power for that. And then you should be free of attachment. If you're free from attachment, because if you're not free from attachment to that soul, then you cannot have yoga with Baba. And Baba says you must understand your aim. So you are here shifting the whole world order. And it has to start with the family. So if in Satyug, Shri Lakshmi and Narayan live as husband and wife, and they are viceless, and you are trying to establish that in Sangam Yug, it will require a lot of detachment and a lot of yoga power. Yes, and that's how you create this new model. This new model that companionship doesn't mean that it has to be based on lust or greed or anything. You don't have to live with someone only because they are the source of your vices. Yes, and Baba uses this word corruption today. And Baba says Ravan means corruption. And what is corruption? When you abuse something, That's corruption, abuse of power. So you have the power of someone's company, and you think that that gives you the right to abuse them. And there is this statement that people say, if you have to stay pure, then get out of my house. That's abuse of power. So if somebody has to stay in your house, they have to provide you with lust. That's how it goes. Yes? So that's abuse of power. That's corruption. So somebody wants something from you, they have to satisfy one vice of yours. That's corruption. And that's what Ravan has told us. And there are some people who ask this question, why do you have to get married when you have to stay celibate? So if you have to stay pure, then you can't get married, you can't have the benefit of somebody's company. Why? Who said that? Companionship is a human right. People can live with each other and be cooperative with each other, but it has got nothing to do with vices. But there is this strange idea that if you have to stay pure, you stay alone, and if you want company, then you have to pay the price of lust. And this is a very strange idea. And companionship is companionship. Companionship doesn't require the ticket of lust. And there is this brother who once came and asked me, so if my wife doesn't provide me with lust, then why should I continue with her? Then I said, did you enter a marriage or did you enter with a contract with a prostitute? So if you pay anybody for lust, if you're keeping somebody in the house and giving them food and clothes and shelter because they're giving you lust, that's prostitution, that's not marriage. And this is the truth. And Baba says, and this is so ingrained in us. This is so ingrained in us that not only the one who demands lust, but also the one who is listening to Baba feels guilty that I'm staying with this person or not giving them lust. Because it's so ingrained, you think that that's the price you pay for companionship and cooperation. And it's so ingrained that people are trained so badly in this that when you go out also and somebody cooperates and demands less, sometimes you give in to that also. Just think about this. This is a very big issue. Somebody is cooperating with you a lot, somebody is helping you out a lot, and then they demand lust, you give into that also. Because you think that the price for companionship and cooperation is lust and you have to pay in that currency. But Baba says, no, a soul can be cooperative to you without the payment of lust. And love and cooperation doesn't require any physical engagement. So Baba says there is this whole, system where everything, if somebody is, and any kind of corruption, you see in the office also, if somebody is paying you well, they expect you to do something corrupt for them. So you are getting paid for your job, you're not getting paid to do their dirty work. So Baba says, Ravan tells you that anything good comes with the price of a vice. So you have to satisfy someone's vice because you're getting something good from them. You're getting help, you're getting cooperation, you're getting regard, you're getting love, you're getting upliftment. Baba says, no. Whatever you are getting, you have to repay by being yourself. You also have to be loveful, respectful, peaceful. That's it. It doesn't require the satisfaction of vices. So that's a viceless world where everything, and you see, when you hire somebody for work, you automatically assume that you can shout at them. And they are getting paid to fulfill your, vice of anger. So you have a vice of anger and you're paying somebody to receive your anger, is it? So anger comes free with the job. So Baba says, you get work done. Somebody has committed for work. They have not committed to take on your anger. And that's not human nature. That's not how the new world order works. In Satyug, everybody does their job. The king does the job, the subject does the job, and everybody does their own job. But nobody assumes that I can just expect them to fulfill my vice, expect them to quench my thirst for anger or lust or greed or give in to my corrupt means or feed my ego. So you don't have to feed anybody's ego, because so this is how a world order has to function. But then you must understand that when you are an employee and there is a boss who assumes that they can shout at you because they are giving you a job, then you cannot stop them by telling them you cannot shout at me. You can only stop them by vibrating at the frequency where they know they cannot shout at you. So your Swaman, when you know who you are, that will allow you to function respectfully in an environment. And Baba says that you cannot demand respect, you can command respect. You can command operating in a family without vice, you can command operating in an office without disrespect and anger, and you can command a position where you just do your job and not feed into anybody's ego or not do anybody's dirty work. But you will only command that when you are in your spiritual power. And nobody will expect any vice from you. And that requires yoga power. So when you know who you are and when you function as God's child and you are vibrating at that frequency of purity and peace and genuine love, then you will be able to change the world order. And you see, it's so interesting when people go to the temple and they see a deity, they don't get vicious thoughts. And the most vicious person on the planet will also not get vicious thought by looking at an image of a deity. So you have to create that image of a deity that nobody gets that thought about you. And someone feels sorry if they shout at you or they even think about shouting at you. So that's how the world order has to shift, and it cannot shift by demanding anything. It cannot shift by demanding anything. It can only shift by your commanding it. And you command as you are. So the way you are will determine it. And Baba says, when you don't have any attachment, when you don't have any greed, when you don't have any ego, when you don't have any lust or anger inside you, then, and you have yoga power, then you will shift the world order. And Baba says, I'm not telling you to run away from the world. I'm telling you to stay in the world and shift the world order. Stay in the office and change the culture of the office. Stay at home and change the culture of a family. That's what I'm asking you to do. And Baba says, for that, you have to be very soul conscious. So, first thing is, in soul consciousness, I am not sourcing anything from anyone or anything outside. And then second thing is, I have to do my duty. So, this yoga power and this seva and shifting the culture outside has to happen through the power of my consciousness. And then you see that there is this yajna seva where everybody is given gyan about these things. So there is seva that we do while staying in the world, and then there is yajna seva because the yajna is nurturing your stage. Yes, so we are all getting our nourishment from the yajna, from the centers, from Madhuban. So supporting Madhuban and centers with body, mind and wealth, that's one seva which is primary, because I want to be the source to others, so let my source be intact first. So that's there. And then secondly, becoming the source of shift in culture in the world. So Baba talks about these things today, and then Baba says, and this requires effort. It doesn't happen just by attending the class and understanding it. So it requires a lot of practice, a lot of sitting in the consciousness of who you are and understanding that you are a soul and you are here to create a new culture. You are not here to resource your joy and happiness from the world. So you, the soul, have to use the body to fulfill your purpose, not satisfy your needs. So needs are satisfied by Baba, and Baba's purpose is to be fulfilled through the body. That's the difference between body consciousness and soul consciousness. And beware of corruption, because corruption and using everything for the wrong purpose. So today, the body is being abused, the relationships are being abused, the job is being abused, and everything is being abused for the satisfaction of vices. And Baba says that has to stop. So wherever you have power, you just become your vicious self and demand satisfaction of vices. That's not how it has to work. And that consciousness, that whole belief system has to change. And then Baba says today, ask your heart, am I following Shrimat? You must not consider yourself to be too clever. And in Hindi, Baba says, Miya Mittu. And Baba says that Ask yourself, do I follow Srimat in the same way as Brahma and Saraswati? So Baba says, I am receiving from Baba equally as Mama and Baba. So Mama and Baba receive from Shiv Baba as much as I am receiving today. Then who gives you the liberty to not do as much as they did? So Baba says, you are receiving the same from God as your Mama and Baba did, and why are you not doing the same? Am I following Srimad as much as Brahma Baba? And Baba says, don't be too clever, don't be Mia Mittu. And what is the sign of Mia Mittu? Mia Mittu tries to explain to God that his problem is really big. So Baba says, don't try to explain to me, you understand from me that you have to do this. So don't give excuses about study, about yoga, about purity, about seva. That's for you. So don't give excuses to me, and don't try to fool yourself by thinking that I gave this excuse, because of this I can't do seva, and Didi didn't say anything, so I became very clever and I cheated Didi. No, you cheated yourself. So purity is for me, yoga is for me, seva is for me. And when I give an excuse, I am being very foolish. When I am giving an excuse about why I can't study regularly, I am being foolish. I am creating a misfortune for myself. So Baba says, don't think you are too clever. If you don't follow Srimad, you are the opposite of clever. So Baba says, ask yourself, am I following Srimad? And by following Srimad, Mama and Baba are becoming Lakshmi and Narayan, and what am I doing not following Srimad? So Baba says, ask yourself honestly, ask your heart. And then today Baba says that imperishable parts are recorded in such tiny souls. It is a wonder. This is not the power of science. You now receive power from Baba. This truly is the imperishable cycle that continues to turn. It has no beginning or end. And you see that Baba says that the soul has a whole part recorded in it. You are the deity soul, and now you have become the depleted soul. And then no amount of science power can bring you back to bring you to pulling your power back. So, there is a deity part in me. So there is a deity personality hidden in me, which cannot be pulled out by any science power. And this is the power of God. He pulls out the deity from you. So he re-emerges the deity from within you. And Baba says this cannot happen through science power. This can happen through yoga power. And Baba says this is why the world calls out to God. Because only God can do this. There is an imperishable part in the soul, and the soul was a deity, and there is a whole deity personality hidden within you. And only God has the power to rub that and bring that out. And every day the Murli and your yoga with Baba is doing that. So Baba says this is a wonder. No science can bring this out. There is no machine which you enter and you come out as a deity. But Baba creates this machinery of this yajna where you enter a human and you come out as a deity. And Baba says that this is Baba's power, and this is why you need God even when man has made so much of scientific achievement and he has created so many instruments of science. So this is why Baba says this is a wonder, this is not power of science. Okay, Om Shanti.